Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. An absolute honor and thrilled to be here with you. I'm extremely excited. Libra, I'm reading for you for your February monthly reading. I'm pumping them out. I'm getting them in between work whenever I can, and in hopes to have all of them out by the 1st of February, possibly the 2nd, not gonna lie. The 2nd is on Sunday, and that's my day off, so that's always a kind of a nice save when it falls on the weekend like that, so I can devote all of my time. But nevertheless, this is for you, all Libras, any placement, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Venus, Mercury, any of them would be appropriate. Cross watchers, all welcome, all inclusive. And for those that are new, welcome. It's an honor. Honestly, I'm super grateful to everybody that has been supporting my channel. I always will ask in a humble way, should you like what you're hearing and you feel a sense of resonance in any way, please do like and subscribe. Those are the two ways that my channel can continue to build. And it's a small channel, so I really, really appreciate it, and we'll leave it at that. But I do have a format for those that are new and those returning. Of course, I think you know it by now, and things might change a little bit. For the most part, though, you'll know what you're coming to, which is kind of nice. It's good to have that consistency. And so I start with the chakra check, and that is having to do with that specific chakra in your body. There are very many, but the main ones that most people know about, there are 7, and then the 8th, which is the all connecting, we're all in this together consciousness of the universe, being the 8th. So I have 8 cards here, and what I really do is I just do a little bit of a shuffle. I will tell you that so far I think we've had, I want to say I've done 6 readings. I've got 6 more to do, and you being the 7th in the 7th house representing relationships, you're an air element. I don't know, we're thinkers. I'm a Libra too, and it's a lot about the mind. It's sometimes to a fault, right? We just want to make sure we're seeing all sides of things. We want to be as justified, and I want to say we want to serve justice. We want to be fair. We want to be compromising, I think, is a huge word for Libra. I also feel that we definitely need the balance. We represent the scales, the only inanimate object that represents in the tarot, which is about just that. The mind is, of course, a part of our body, but it's just that. I don't even know where I'm going with that. You follow what I'm saying. Sometimes we overthink, okay? And so, but I don't want to, I don't want to put any kind of negative connotation on the fact that we care a great deal about learning and growing and expressing ourselves and connecting with others. Like, that's huge. And we just happen to do it by way of our minds a lot of times, and there's different elements and they represent different aspects. And I will mention that as we come along through the reading. But for you, the spirit guided chakra, I started to say, oh my gosh, there we go. Now listen, I am absolutely kind of allowing this month of February, which is the reading, to be all about pink and red, because I love. February is, of course, Valentine's Day month, but it's also known as the month of love, way before the commercialized aspect of Valentine's Day. There's a history behind it. You can look it up. But I have decided to do that with my pink deck that I've had for a long time. I thought, oh, that's perfect. And this is the card. This is the chakra that's come up out of the 7 readings, including you now. I think it's come up at least 5 times. I want to say 5 with you. I could be wrong, but it's what Spirit wants us to know about. This is the first chakra. This is at the base of our spine. This is the root chakra, moving itself upward. This is so important. This is the foundation, as it were. This is how we feel about our security and Are we grounded? You know, all the things that we really need to do on this planet. You know, look up at the sky at night, which I've been doing way more often. I did it as a child all the time. I make a point of going out now because there's been beautiful, clear nights. And look at the sky, look at the stars, everything that, you know, I may include as far as astrology or the tarot always includes. It's actually happening. It's not all woo-woo. I mean, many of the things that I speak of in the spirituality aspects of life, you don't see it necessarily. You know it's there, but it's not something you can necessarily feel or touch. The stars and the moon, that's actually really, really there. And what an awesome feeling to look up and say, wow, we're living in, how fragile are we to be able to exist in this entire universe being so, I don't know, unpredictable, you know, weather-wise, just in human nature-wise, you know, all the variables there. So this is how it's reminding, Spirit's wanting to remind so many of us to just, when you feel that overwhelm, when you feel that awesomeness of it all, which is a beautiful thing, you need to ground yourself. You need to really plant those feet deep in the ground, take those shoes off, hug those trees, you know, work in nature. I work in your yard. My weeds are, you know, pretty much out of control, and they're not going to get any better once it rains again, but taking the time, it feels so amazing. It's all there for us. And so, yeah, I don't want to belabor it, but this is about the first chakra. So I'll read to you what it says, because I like to call it a mantra that you can use to really open that chakra and allow the energy to be at its fullest without any blockages or feelings like there's stuckness there, okay, or concerns or worries. The meaning in the words that represent the first chakra is the presence of Spirit is solidly rooted in my body. It's so true. Well, anyway, I'll get back to that. I have the right to be here, and my life is abundant with love, comfort, and vitality. And to say that over even 10 times or 100, it doesn't matter. It's going to vibrate into your body and just kind of swirl around and work through all of these various chakras, and it's going to really lift up the energy levels. And I recommend it daily, even if it's only for 2 minutes, to just allow a little meditation for each of the chakras, okay? It's done wonders for me. It's a great way to start my day. You can end your day that way. You don't have to follow suit in that regard. But now I'm going to read to you also, which just happens to already be set up, because I have this beautiful gift set, and it came with all the different chakra crystals that are associated with the chakras and the colors. Very big on color and the energy of colors. Everything is energy. And it all has a feeling in it, and it works. It's remarkable sometimes. It can be used for soothing ourselves. Crystals especially, they're great for protection and many, many things. But they've chosen the words, once again, for the crystals are grounded, healthy, and strong when it comes to the root chakra. And the one specifically used, and the one I'm going to put on to infuse the reading and add even more grounded energy to it, is the red jasper. You can try other crystals. This is just an example that I'll use because it's what I have for you. The words associated are I am healthy, strong, and stable. And that's how important that root, the foundational root chakra is for us. You know, it kind of like starts it all. So I love that. I'm going to just put on what I've been putting on, kind of red on red. But red represents power as far as the energy goes, and, you know, an absolute passion, which is perfect for the month of February. And pink is also about the heart and the tenderness and the softness, you know, and it does represent like the 3 chakras that are up towards the top of our bodies, which is the throat, where we speak from our heart and we speak our intentions and we're authentic. Our third eye, which is between the eyebrows. And I always focus on that and do a little bit of tapping on that every morning to open that up. And then, of course, the crown chakra, which is where we receive our downloads and our information, our dreams that come through, you know, our mind when we're sleeping and awake. And all the beautiful things like that. So I love to share that every time, as I said. And on with the reading. Now, I'm going to be doing a Celtic cross reading. These readings have been lasting about 35, 40 minutes. I want to be streamlined as much as possible. I have shuffled these, and I'm using this beautiful deck, like I said, in honor of the month of love and the color pink, and it is called the OK Tarot. It's the simple deck for everyone. So the OK Tarot. Isn't that cool? It's got the Ace of Wands in the back. Beginnings, you know, passion, very much about passion. Fire sign, the wands. So yeah, I'm going to shuffle one more time. I'm being asked. Now, I'm a conduit, and I am here to share the messages that come from the cards. I do have psychic and intuitive downloads that come in. I have conversations prior to making the video with you, Libras, and just kind of touch base and kind of get a feeling. And yes, the pink, I'm going between red and pink definitely comes through. By the way, rose quartz is notoriously the stone for Libras, as well as opals. So that's kind of cool too. But, you know, you are ruled by Venus, and Venus is the benevolent planet that has everything to do with love and magic and feeling good, you know, caring for ourselves aesthetically, being in surroundings that feel beautiful, and, you know, that money's involved, you know, the ability to create money and to be creative in general. There's a lot of intuitive aspects to Venus that I think doesn't get mentioned. Perhaps you can relate to that and you feel this intuitiveness, but more importantly, we're going to do a little short rundown with the fact that we are in a new series of eclipses this year, 2025, and we ended the North Node Aries, South Node Libra, and on January 11th, 12th, depending on where you're located, the North Node went into Pisces, and Venus is in Pisces right now, and Neptune is in Pisces, and Saturn is in Pisces. This will change mid-month, but we'll get to that when that comes. Pisces is such a huge influence for all of us, and depending on where it falls in your tropical whole house chart is important too. Now, I know what it is because I'm a Libra. So Libra, that falls in our 6th house, our day-to-day activities, you know, our work, our what we eat, how we dress, how we, you know, interact with people, our community, neighbors, so on and so forth. And Venus, first of all, being in Pisces, is extremely comfortable and exalted. And I don't know if you felt that, but boy, from the moment it went into Pisces, Venus, which was the 4th of January, just some really beautiful things are happening. Now, I've had some stressful things happen, and I know that's a part of this too. I love talking about the positive. There are other channels that'll go and they'll definitely talk more about the dire aspects and the challenges and all this. And it is a part of life, no doubt about it. I experience it all the time. What I do, though, is I choose, and I do have a Pisces rising, so maybe that's part of it. You might have water placements too. But I imagine and I feel and I envision things better and getting through whatever the challenge is. And so help me, every time I've done that, and I don't always know exactly how. I don't claim that. Sometimes I do, though. You know, we have that gift. We all have that gift. It absolutely helps me, and I hope that it can help you. And that's absolutely what this channel will be about, is inspiring and uplifting you, you know, during times that are just, they can be difficult, and ways to maneuver through that and around it and to the other side. And the readings, actually, you know, we all have free will. So this is not an absolute. You hopefully resonate with a lot of it. Even if it's not from today, you may feel this as the month of February goes on and remember and say, or take notes and say, or come back and watch again. But definitely watch all of your placements, whether it's your sun, moon, rising, or whatever, because they make a difference. We're so much more than just the sun sign. So I will tell you that I am actually videotaping these the last week of January just to get them out for February, right? So the influence of the new moon is being felt. I've felt it the last couple of days. It will last certainly the couple of days following the new moon, which is in Aquarius, and sometimes 2 weeks to a month or longer. Aquarius is beautiful for us, Libra. It's our fellow air sign. Aquarius, as opposed to us, but in addition to us, being an air sign is very much about the mind, very much about, communicating and expressing and learning and growing and sharing, connecting, networking. Aquarius is about innovative, out of the box ways of doing things, changing your direction, something you maybe done for so long, and then opening your mind to another way to go about doing what you've done for so long, or altogether changing your choice of occupation. And I would say the entrepreneurial aspect for the next 20 plus years onward, with Pluto having gone into Aquarius. And now Mercury actually went into Aquarius. What was that? Monday the 27th, I'll say. It could be a day or two. Please don't quote me. Oh my gosh, very complimentary energy for being another fellow air sign. And there's more. Jupiter, the benevolent planet that only comes into our sign every 12 years, has been in the sign of Gemini, which is also our third and only, air sign. So there's the triad in each of the 4 elements. And so it's Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, and there it is. And it's beautiful, it's positive, it's a trine. And Jupiter goes direct on the 4th of February. It's been in retrograde since, I want to say, last August or so, but once again, don't quote me. It always does retrograde. The outer planets, the slower outer planets, always retrograde. And we notice a little bit of a dip in their energy, but it's always there. Some more than others for so many variable reasons. This is a general reading, but it's coming back. And it'll be in Gemini through the 9th of June, when it then goes into Cancer. And that's all about our career. That's the 10th house. But as far as Gemini, that's the 9th house. That is the magic of our imagination and our forward thinking and the parts of us that wants to just grow and learn and travel. Travel is huge. I hope you're able to travel. I have a couple of ideas of where I'd love to travel, and I'm believing that will happen. I'm going to set aside whatever I need to financially and just be kind of, very Saturn-like, if you will, which happens to be in our 6th house as well, and has been, because it's in Pisces. And so a lot of influence there, but beautiful energy. Once again, creative energy. If you're thinking about doing things that are creative, I think, and I definitely have felt that, it's happening, okay? Now, the full moon happens on the 12th of February, and that is happening in the sign of Leo. And that's our 11th house of friends and, and fun and socializing. Leos are all about being seen. They're fiery, right? And air and fire go together so extremely well. And so I think that's going to be a very good moon for you. And as a full moon, usually it shines a light and it ends certain circumstances so you can begin yet again. And the last new moon of the month will be in Pisces. So, and we will also go from Aquarius season into Pisces season on the 18th of February. There's just a lot of wonderful complementary energy things happening in a month that's about love, which is something that matters a great deal to you. And it doesn't just have to be romantic. As I've always said, it's about our self-love, self-respect, just, loving anything and everything is going to help create a much, much happier time. Okay, so Celtic Cross coming right up. First overall energy is the first card that I want to place down. And it's what you're feeling coming into this reading. And that is the Queen of Swords. Well, there you are. It's just, it could be you, but it certainly is an air element, right? This is the beautiful aspect of the Aquarian, Gemini, or Libra as a sword. And the Queen versus the King doesn't make you a female or male, but it does represent the feminine, masculine energies. And the feminine tend to be a little more regarding the intuitive aspect we all have, as I mentioned earlier. With the North Node in Pisces for the next 18 months, you are going to notice a marked change, a marketable change. Is that a saying? I think it is. In your intuition. Spot on, like, oh my gosh, just thought of that person, bam, there they are. Incredible energy for your psychic ability, which a lot of you have watching this channel, and just utilizing it in the most positive ways. I always ask for that for my readings, to have the messages come through and have it be as accurate as possible. And by gum, it happens so often. There's so many synchronicities. So I love this. This is you in your full energy. It's beautiful, especially with that grounded aspect of the base chakra and the root chakra. So that's a good start, Libras. And then we go on to the crossing card, which is your possible blessings or blocks. And you have the star. Wow. Oh my gosh. I do actually have goosebumps. They generally run up my legs, starting from my toes. That is the major arcana, and that represents Aquarius. So there is, as I said, a beautiful connection with the like-minded, foundationally similar energy of the Aquarian, being an air sign. And the star is exactly that. Looking up, wishing upon a star, knowing in your heart of hearts, whatever desire, whatever dream, whatever project you want to see reach its fruition is absolutely something that you can manifest. As long as you understand that sometimes it's not always in your timing. And speaking of timing, timing is a little bit obscure when it comes to spirituality, for sure. It's not linear. But what I will say is that I did forget to mention Mars, the very, very important planet that has to do with our energy and our motivation and our spirit. It's what prompts us to do things, and it can be a little aggressive, and it is the ruling planet of Scorpio and Aries, which, that was the whole series of eclipses that we've just passed by, that Aquarian energy, Aries energy, and it's going to continue because some of the major planetary movements is going to be from Pisces to Aries. Once again, we'll get back to that. Aries is about incredible confidence and just forward movement, and not impulsively sometimes, like it's happening and not even thinking twice and not even second guessing. That's essential for anything you may want to manifest, is that you fully believe with every ounce of your body and soul and every cell in your body. Okay, so, but this is really great because it does represent that you have some very important vision or want or wish, and it could be as simple as the next vacation you want to take, and making it happen and setting aside the money, like I said, and structuring it in such a way that it's not going to not happen, even if that's a double negative. So I love that. That's a blessing. And absolutely writing down your intentions with this new moon happening on the 29th, which also happens to be the first day of Chinese New Year. Powerful, powerful day. Give yourself time to kind of calm yourself down. Don't necessarily start anything new on that day because it has a lot of energy, and it can be a little bit, depending on, your sensitivities, you can feel it. So it's about really taking care of yourself, staying grounded, and writing things out, because that's a sure key way to see things manifest, is when you write them down. It's a magical thing. It's always been that way. I've always written things down, and honestly, I just check them all. Boom, boom, boom. It's wonderful. So, 2 beautiful cards to start. Let's continue. This is your foundational card, and we've already spoke about how important that is. And you have the 9 of Pentacles. My goodness. Wow. And by the way, none of these cards have come out in this fashion so far. There was a lot of repeat happening between, I believe it was Cancer and Gemini, and I want to say Virgo and Leo. But nope, 9 of Pentacles. That represents absolute independence. This is a beautiful card that represents you fulfilling most all of your every objectives, working hard, having seen the fruits of your labor absolutely starting to materialize. And it's very independent, as I said. The Rider-Waite-Smith shows a figure in a very lush, garden with the grapes that are usually hard to grow, and how, you've manifested that. And it's now just plentiful all around you. And there's a bird, which I believe represents the mind and the ability to talk to yourself in ways that make you realize what you think is what you are, and what you're putting out there is what you receive back. And so it's really beautiful. And it doesn't mean that you are not necessarily involved in a relationship, but within that relationship, it's a very healthy one where it's not codependent, and you have your own independence too, which is, I think, not an expert on being in relationships, but I've studied them for many, many years. And the ones that have that ability to be independent within it seem to really go the extra mile. So something to consider and think about coming through as, I think, a definite message for you. So that's fantastic. So far, couldn't ask for better, really. And then we go on to your recent past. And you have the Queen of Cups. So there's two queens. And this is about the beautiful, beautiful emotional side. Because yes, even Libras and air signs who are known for being detached, because we're all in our minds and we're just trying to keep it together and think of all the things we need to do to keep that balance, as I said. We absolutely have emotions. And I, for one, am an incredibly sensitive person. And I can wait to allow myself to feel that if necessary, so as not to impose on other people. As a massage therapist, the last thing I want to do is go into work with somebody and their energy and be feeling overly overwhelmed or stressed or sad or not well. It's just not okay. So I work with that and I meditate on that, and it's something you can do too. This is beautiful. This is being in touch with your emotional side and feeling really good. And it does represent the Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpios of the zodiac. And as I said, there's a huge influence with Pisces. And it will continue as in the North Node position for many months to come. And I think of it as magic. And I hope you can look at it that way as well. Absolute magic. Don't take my word for it. Just see how it unfolds, because it'll take 18 months and it doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't, it comes and goes, but take note, because it's a absolutely beautiful time for everybody, but definitely for us too, Libras. Then we go on to the present position. So what do we have? Two of Swords. Okay. So the Two of Swords usually depicts a woman standing, and she has a blindfold around her eyes. She has two swords that are crossing each other, meaning there is a decision to be made. And I know we always get the rap with Libras, how we have a hard time making decisions. I agree to an extent that it takes me time to think about it. I don't think the decision itself is the hard part. It's me weighing things out like we do, looking at the different perspectives and not feeling like we have to rush. Because when we make that decision, it is final. I mean, it's not like we vacillate. Though on occasion, of course, we can over small things. But the important, really important ones, no. We want to take that time, not feel rushed, and then come up with the decision that we know we can feel good about and stick with. And just know, and another reader had told me this, and I thought it made perfect sense. Any choice you make will be the right one. When you take one away, it's still the ace. And the ace is the new beginning. The ace is in your element. So, having faith in your intuition and your choices. And I say that in a much larger way, because our higher power will at times lead us to a certain decision that, after the fact we can say, oh, maybe that wasn't a good decision. And we tend to, to falter as to, what our choice was. But no, it was there to show us something. It's there about a lesson, right? And believe me when I tell you, I understand you're saying, oh man, not another lesson thing. Yes, that is what this life is about. That's why we are here, to evolve and to grow and to learn. And sometimes it takes a few times, right? And I'm trying to avoid that. You know, my life is, I'm a lot older than a lot of people watching, and I'm, well, the spirit never ages, and that's the funniest thing about it. You know, you have this youthful feeling and you want to do all these things, and you look in the mirror and like, oh, oh, okay. That's what people say. Okay, but truthfully, you know, the younger you feel and the happier and the more you laugh and the more you know, recognize the nuances in life that just kind of just aren't even worth, you know, struggling over, and more able to laugh at it. It really helps to, I think, lengthen a person's life. I really do. But that's just my take on it. But anyway, yes, so there is a decision you're going to make. You probably know what that is. Yeah, don't feel, just sit with it. You know, once again, don't feel, use your intuition, of course. You will be guided. You can ask for that, of course, always. So let's go on to the future and see what that decision may entail. The Eight of Pentacles. Wow. Well, let me just say to you, this is 9, which is only one away from the 10, which is the ultimate when it comes to the Pentacles. You know, that's our earthly goods. That's the energy of the earth sign. What, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. And Taurus is known as the money sign. As I mentioned earlier, we have the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. So you may have Virgo placements. Virgo is very, very capable of creating independence and wealth. They're extremely intelligent, ruled by Mercury. They work extremely hard. They know how to plan. They know how to, you know, strategize. And when it's the South Node, you're going to be letting go of the parts of you that are just a little bit too hard on yourself, a little too critical. People, circumstances you just allowed to act a certain way, that's going to go by the wayside. And it happened a lot when it was in Libra. I hope you recognize that. I certainly did. I mean, there's boundaries to be set, and I've not been great about it, especially with the Pisces rising. Not really great. Really want to just get along with everybody and have everything just magically, you know, happen. But of course, alas, that's not actually the way the world works. So setting the boundaries has felt very empowering, and I hope you are feeling that way too. And the Eight of Pentacles means that this is mastery in something you're doing. Maybe you want to add to this. Maybe that's the decision. Do I stick with what I've been doing all this time, if it's a long time? Do I incorporate something new? For example, myself, I'll be retiring as a long-term massage therapist. I would do it the rest of my life if I could, but that's not really realistic either, right? So I have to think about that. Reading has been something I've done actually longer, and I want to make it so that I'm continually reading for the rest of my life. Okay, literally, as long as I can speak and turn on a camera. And definitely in person too. I do them in person. Links below for that if you're interested and you happen to be in the area. Or just call me and leave a message. And if you want any questions, please use that link to Pure Massage Therapies. I am here for you. So I love this, okay? More money, more, you know, stability for your Nine of Pentacles, which you've worked hard at. Nothing happens in this beautiful universe without some kind of effort, whether it's through thought, through emotion, actual physical labor, you know, you have to be part of that co-creation that's always happening. So now we go on to the stem, which is going to start with the card that really represents your perspective on the reading in life right now in general. And you have the Magician. Of course you do, because guess what? You're absolutely right. What do you want? You can make it happen. How much do you believe in that? You know, I believe in it fully. I know it takes longer sometimes, that's for darn sure. And I don't ever expect to have it exactly in the way that I've asked for, but I do put it out there, and I have made many vision boards, and I write intentions all the time and gratitude logs for just the many blessings that I have. It's really been useful as well. And you've got all the tools you need. You know, this is another major arcana. This is magic, because magic does occur in the world with effort and love. Perfect for this month, right? I'm loving this. This is you realizing, listen, I've done it this way, it didn't work. I've done it that way. You know, I'm starting to get the formula. You know, I'm starting to understand. And it's way easier than I think a lot of us have recognized. And I hope that's the case for you too. Then we go into the environment and you have the moon. Now this has pretty much come out every single reading. I kid you not. Different positions. The environment with the moon means that things are not 100% clear a lot of times, you know. I mean, there can be some nebulousness to the moon. But it also, to me, it looks like the eclipse because you've got the darkness there and you've got the new moon, which, by the way, is about to happen. So you want to definitely write down, as I said, and you want to really put forth all the energy, you know, the crystals, everything, just kind of using all the magic you can and the tools you have to acquire and to manifest what you're wanting to do for an indefinite amount of time or the rest of your life. It doesn't matter. The power of these moons are real. They connect and they create the tides, you know, the gravitational pull affects us all. And I ask for, you know, guidance with the moon. I just think it's so fantastic to be able to look and see it most nights, right? That's what it's asking you to. Go within. It's very, very much about intuition and listening to your guides, listening to the wisdom and the you know, the encouragement, the messages. Then we have the hopes and fears category, and you have the Page of Wands. The new beginnings, the beginning that is so fresh, and it does represent youthfulness. It's the fiery, ambitious part. Now, Mars has been retrograde, and it's actually going to go forward. Like I said earlier, I think, but I've said it for every reading, so I'm going to repeat it. It's big, because I've noticed the difference in my energy, and it comes and it goes, and it's, you know, it's notable. My workload has lessened. All that's going to change when, on February 23rd, when Mars, the, you know, absolute planet of motion and movement and energy and motivation and spirit and, yeah, enthusiasm, all of those beautiful things it's going direct. So it'll be in Cancer, as I said. That's the cup, the emotion and listening, and it's in our 10th house. So take advantage of the time that may be slow, because it will change. And this is the new beginning. It could be a child. It could be your child you're about to give birth to. It could be speaking of a child you want to have, or an animal, or someone new. It could be making sure you're always in touch with your inner child, and you're absolutely allowing yourself to have fun with all your dreams and visions and wishes, that you don't get too serious. Okay, it's so important. I always have to remind myself, because I can be a goofball, absolutely, but laughing feels so good. It's such a healing thing to do. Now we have your outcome card, the 9 of Swords. Okay, so with all of this beautiful energy and this incredible amount of, you know, money that's coming through, maybe a raise, a new position, a second job, whatever it is, it's there, it's coming through, and it hasn't necessarily been good. But that's changing, okay? And there's so much more I could talk to you about, but I do have to carry on. So the 9 of Swords is the part of us that worries. Is it going to be staying this good? Am I going to lose this? You know, am I going to be laid off? I mean, there's so many layoffs in jobs now too. Can I find the next job I really want? Am I really going to keep this relationship? All the things that our minds just kind of ruminate about, right? Especially as an air sign. Snap it off. Just because I've started using this, I thought, the first time I did, I thought, oh my gosh, the viewers are never going to come back. They're going to go, wow, that was harsh. I don't mean it to be harsh. It's my new mechanism I'm sharing with you. It's like a snap, and you just, as soon as you feel it, just snap it, you know, like this hypnotic suggestion. That's how much control we can have of our thoughts. Okay, we don't have control over a lot, and not everything. We do have a control over a lot, actually, but we certainly have control over how we feel, how we react, and what our thoughts are. So I'm not going to end with that because I just can't. What is the next one? There you go. 8 of Wands. Bam. Quick movement, changes in many areas, information, fired up. 8 is the most abundant number, the most prosperous. 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. You've got this. And as I said, it's going to materialize even probably quicker than you thought with the change of momentum with Mars moving direct on February 23rd. Overall, beautiful, beautiful reading. And you can utilize this and you can imagine and create it and then write down things like I said. And I'm going to finish with your animal spirit guide message, which I absolutely love. I love this deck. I love how they word it. And a lot of times it's very much in synchronicity with the reading. So I'll just do a little bit of a shuffle. And I want to thank you again for your time, always. And tell you, I wish you the best this month and every day and every month of the year and all the years, because it's just what we need when we're living, you know, is to have that feeling of optimism and trust and faith in things working in the way they can and will. And for you, you have the chicken. Well, this came up before, and I love it. It wasn't even that long ago. So I'll read you what it says, and I think you're going to love it. All right, so there you go. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad. I'll set it right in the middle as I read for you. And just close your eyes and just kind of really take this in, because it's, well, animal spirits are very much a part of the world. You know, we can't be without animals, and they're so beautiful. And I feel like I care about them more and more each day. And I have my beautiful cat that, oh, she's not in here. It's a he. Oh my gosh, I said she. My cat before of 13 and a half years is a she. But Eclipse has left the building, but I'm sure you may have seen him hopping around. He loves to, you know, he's a little bit of a ham bone. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, chicken, devotion, creation, and conversation. Of course, conversation, because we communicate. We want to connect. We love that, you know. We like to share our thoughts. We like to share our ideas. We like to help people in any way we can. If, you know, there's something that they need to know about, we're on it, right? Chicken teaches us to keep our creative projects alive with steady attention. Chicken sits abundant on her eggs, keeping them warm and protected, with faith, knowing that in a matter of time, the eggs will hatch. Like an idea, like a child, like a pregnancy, like, you know, everything that we basically said. For now, Chicken advises steadfast diligence and the company of the like-minded creatives, such as yourself. Always surround yourself with people that you feel comfortable with. And please don't feel that you need to surround yourself with anything but that, you know, just because we're kind or because we care and we're compassionate. It's really essential now. And that's what this South Node in Libra showed us, and now that it's in Virgo, just eliminating things that are toxic. It requires stamina and earnest devotion day after day to manifest projects and creation. It is that consistency, but I don't need to tell you that. It's so true in my channel. I will be here on a regular for you as long as I can be. And, you know, it's my passion. So I'm going to finish with this last card, which is the Manifestation Manifesto deck. And I'm just going to pull out a saying and do a little shuffle to make that happen for you. And yeah, I love it. This can be, you can do a snapshot, something you might want to bring up if you feel so inclined and you like it and it resonates with you. I think they all are incredibly inspiring. Yours says, the white space of a free day seems unfathomable because we have become hypnotized by a false but compelling need to respond to all the needs of others. Wow. I don't know if you felt a little bit of something in there of yourself. I think you probably did. And remembering, I just said literally those boundaries, you know. Yes, you're a good person. All the Libras I've ever known, people in general are good. It's great to help where you can, but just know, yeah, it's not everything, and you definitely need to have time for you. I've never pulled this card before. I think it's so perfect. And there's Eclipse back in the room. So bless your hearts. Thank you so much again. Have a beautiful, beautiful February. I do a collective reading on Mondays as well if you want to check those out. And enjoy your month, okay? Hope to see you in March. Bye for now.